In a recent episode of 90 Day Fiancé's 9th season, Ariella throws a temper tantrum when she walks into the gym to find Beniam training for his MMA fight with a partner who happened to be a woman. The scene was so intense that many viewers suspected it was scripted. There's no shortage of drama on 90 Day Fiancé and its franchise spin-offs. Cast members often go out of their way to create explosive situations which could have easily been resolved with a little communication. Certain reality stars from the series are notorious for their outlandish and reactionary behaviors. These ridiculous temper tantrums will go down in 90 Day history as the worst of the worst. When Larissa disinvited Colt's family to her wedding, in a now iconic scene, Larissa argues with Colt's cousin during a family barbecue after the cousin accuses her of using Colt. She verbally disinvites the cousin from her wedding, storms inside, and screams, "Who is against the Queen will die." The meme-able moment has become a prime example of Larissa's unwarranted temper, even surpassing her many explosive fights with Colt's mother Debbie. On the show, Larissa was known for yelling first and asking questions later. Unsurprisingly, Larissa and Colt divorced after less than a year of marriage. When Nicole wouldn't sleep on the couch, Chantel and Pedro purchased a new couch and bedding in anticipation of Pedro's sister, Nicole, coming to stay with them. However, once Nicole arrived, she insisted she could not sleep on the couch and demanded she and Pedro stay at a hotel instead, something Chantel was vocally against. Nicole's tantrum was a divisive ploy to get Pedro to side with her over his wife, and it worked, as Pedro ended up giving in to his sister's demands. Nicole has had it out for her brother's relationship since day one. She's even gone as far as trying to convince Pedro to cheat on Chantel. The couch situation was just one of many times a member of Pedro or Chantel's family has hurt their relationship. When Andrew stormed out of the tell-all, Andrew, whose relationship with Amira seemed doomed from the start, failed to win over viewers with his bratty behavior at the tell-all. Amira, who was attending the tell-all virtually from France, told producers she didn't want to have contact with Andrew during the show. Producers respected Amira's wishes and explained the situation to Andrew, who became enraged, dramatically walked off set, and demanded a ride home stating, "This is not acceptable to me and this is unfair." After pushing Amira to meet him in Mexico, where she was detained for days by immigration agents, and then later forced her to make a similar trip alone to Serbia, it's not shocking Amira doesn't want to have any contact with Andrew. When Charlie gave a speech at Libby and Andres' wedding, during Libby Andres' Moldovan wedding, Libby's father, Chuck, stands up and gives a classy speech telling Andre he's family now and they love him. As he finishes, Charlie, who is visibly drunk, forcibly takes the mic from his father and gives an impromptu speech of his own. Charlie cuts right to the chase, announcing to the happy couple that his father needs to stop paying for y'all's bulls, as Chuck paid for the wedding and had helped them out in the past. Charlie continues that he doesn't want Andre to come to America and live off the Potthast family. The awkward scene ended uneventfully, but Andre and Libby were clearly, and rightfully, upset. When Usman didn't want Kim to see the video call with his ex, Usman Sojaboy may want the public to view his music videos, as he is known for making some of 90 Day's most unforgettable songs. However, one video he adamantly didn't want publicized was a video chat with his ex, Zara, in which he admitted to still having feelings for her. Usman threw an epic tantrum when current girlfriend, Kim, saw the private conversation during the tell-all. He insisted he was now committed to Kim. Unconvinced, Kim ran off stage crying, but Usman, who was present via conference call, seemed more concerned with whether or not the cast and the host could hear him than with comforting Kim. When Angela threw a cake at Michael, Angela has always been one of the most chaotic 90 Day cast members, so her unhinged behavior around Michael never comes as a shock to viewers. In one particular scene, the couple had planned to spend the day on a boat in celebration of Michael's birthday. Michael tells Angela this is his first time at that particular boat dock. Angela believes she's caught Michael in a lie, as she's seen a picture of him there in the past. She yells at him and throws his clothes out of their room, telling him to leave. Later Michael comes back with a cake to make amends. Angela tells him a cake won't fix things. She then opens the plastic container and smashes the cake in Michael's face. When Natalie thought Mike was killing fish, Natalie and Mike had different values and lifestyles from the start, and were constantly getting into arguments for the most insane reasons. For instance, during an episode in which Mike is shooting off fireworks near a pond on his property, Natalie starts screaming at him that the loud noises will surely kill all of the fish in the pond. Mike tries to explain that's not how fish work, but Natalie is insistent that he's endangering them. Interestingly, Natalie, who is a proud pescatarian, will still happily eat fish. She just doesn't want Mike disturbing their peace. When Big Ed spent the night at Rose's house, Big Ed has certainly had some ludicrous criticisms of Rose, who, it's worth noting, became an international fashion model after her time on the show. However, things came to a head when he visited the Philippines and stayed in her family's home. What ensued was yet another sad example of living with 90-day in-laws going wrong. Big Ed freaked out over the state of Rose's home. Her house had no roof or doors, as the family was living in abject poverty. Big Ed came across as privileged and ignorant when he had a complete meltdown the morning after sleeping on Rose's mattress on the floor in a room with no air conditioning. He whined and quickly booked a hotel room. When Lita didn't want Eric to pay child support, Lita quickly became a franchise villain as a result of her treatment of Eric and his children. In one particularly telling scene, Lita throws a fit because she no longer wants Eric paying child support for his youngest daughter. Lita, who is from Indonesia and unfamiliar with child support, doesn't like the idea of Eric spending so much money on his kids. To Eric's credit, he explains child support as normal in the US, and he actually seems to have a healthy relationship with his ex-wife and children. Lita is inconsolable, storms off, and refuses to hear anything Eric has to say. She then threatens to leave him and suggests he relinquish his parental rights so he doesn't have to pay. Literally every one of Anfisa's tantrums, Anfisa has an undeniable flair for the dramatic. She often acts incredibly entitled and will do just about anything to get her way. However, when Anfisa doesn't get what she wants, her temper tantrums are even more wild than her entitled behavior. In one memorable scene, Anfisa asks Jorge to buy her a $10,000 handbag and becomes incensed when he refuses. In retaliation, she signs into his phone remotely and proceeds to erase it completely, including all of his contacts. During another iconic scene, she keys the word idiot in giant letters along the side of his car. The couple has since divorced.